Welcome back to the podcast, guys. This is part 2 of the 2021 Portuguese Grand Prix, brought to you by myself and Super Boosted, as well as the entire Motorsport Lounge team. Now, guys, we ended off part 1 with talk with the Alfa Romeo rankings of Giovinazzi and Raikkonen, and we're going to continue now with the rest of the driver rankings, starting off with Aston Martin. Guys, please, just like the previous one, like the podcast if you enjoy it. Make sure to go check out the links in the description down below, and if you haven't subscribed yet by watching the first one, make sure to do it now, and don't forget to ding that bell so notifications is turned on. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Oh yeah. Now, moving in towards the two Aston Martins, guys, what a weekend from Sebastian Vettel. Much better than the first two. But we started with Lance Stroll. Guys, once again, not a lot of screen time. We didn't see a lot of Stroll, and he ended up behind Vettel. The Aston Martins ended 13th and 14th, Stroll being in 14th. So we gave Stroll a 4 out of 10. Also a bit of an underwhelming qualifying performance.
Yeah, he was out in Q1. I know, yeah, he recovered, but
Vettel made Q3.
Vettel made. So there's no like, yeah, he slipped up. The car, Vettel proved the car is there, and I think at this point Stroll at some point is still a little bit faster than Vettel, but yeah, Stroll just this weekend didn't deliver what he delivered.
Yeah, and guys, in that case, when we talk about Vettel got a 7 out of 10. I mean, making Q3 after the first 2 weekends falling out in Q1, heading into Q3 and having some exceptional battles where he defended. Guys, Vettel slowly but surely is getting that physique back that he needs, that mental physique. And if that Aston Martin keeps getting quicker, and like Otmar Schaffner and Lawrence Stroll says they want Aston Martin to eventually one day be at the front of Formula 1, if they've got Vettel with his experience, hopefully one day we can have the Vettel back that we once had. I saw a very sad video on Instagram earlier this week where it's like how people are going to remember Vettel, and it's like Vettel spinning and falling out in Q1 and all these different things, and then it goes over to how I will remember Vettel, and it's where he literally won at, I think it was the Indian Grand Prix in 2012 where he won the championship after going on like, I think a 7-0 race win streak where he just got out of the car and he like bowed in front of the car and doing donuts and everything. That is the Vettel we need back, because people are not going to remember that because it's 10 years ago, but still, that is still within him.
Yeah, I think that is still in Vettel, but I think the car underneath him needs to get where he is confident in the car, and yeah, he is growing that confidence every race. So just hope they don't do like Ferrari and make the car worse next year. Yeah, Vettel needs a good car for his own.
Yes, he does. But guys, that is a solid weekend from Aston Martin on Vettel's side of the garage. Stroll needs to pull up his socks. Heading in towards the next team, AlphaTauri. Now guys, once again, Tsunoda was nowhere, and he also didn't have a lot of screen time, so we gave him
a 4 out of 10, and there's not really much to talk about.
Yeah, he was just not on screen.
And Gasly, he drove really good, defended good for me. I think there were also a lot of teams lost their pace when they went to the second stint.
Yeah.
I think Gasly finished.
Yeah, he finished P10. He got the last point.
He finished P10. He qualified P9. So he drove good. That's why we gave him a
7 out of 10.
I put Rome into the wrong places, I reckon.
No guys, look, that battle between Gasly and Ricciardo at the end of the race, because Ricciardo finished in P9, that battle between Gasly and Ricciardo was kind of entertaining. But once again, thank you for the truck that gives us the everything we see on screen. What's that truck called? I can't remember. I'm too tired. But in any case, on social media, you saw the battle between Gasly and Ricciardo, and that was kind of interesting. Yes, Ricciardo got the better of Gasly, but also the AlphaTauri wasn't comfortable on the hard tires. A lot of, like Booster says, a lot of the cars were just not comfortable on their second stints because the hard tires just didn't suit the way the cars were set up. But still, Gasly got a point. Consistent Gasly being consistent Gasly. And now, heading in towards the team of the weekend, boosted. You can give Ocon's points. I will give Alonso's points.
Yeah, Ocon, he drove good. He qualified P6.
Yeah, qualified P6.
That me not
Remembering.
remembering so much of this weekend. My brain was just shut off.
Yeah, I know Carlos qualified P5. There was Ocon P6, Lando P7, Leclerc P8, P10 was Vettel and Gasly P9.
So Ocon got a 10 out of 10 because he drove good.
Those battles with Sainz and with Leclerc at the beginning of the race, oh my word, that is the 2017 and 2018 Ocon we went back. And guys, here's the first 20 out of 20 for a team as a whole, because we gave Alonso a 10 out of 10 as well. Yes, his qualifying was not on par with Ocon's, but bloody hell, that last stint, you guys already saw I geeked out on Alonso's last stint. It was freaking good.
Yeah, the last stint he drove how he should have been, but yeah, I think the first stint he just needed to get through most of the pack, and the second stint he finished the job.
Yeah, because in the first stint he struggled to get through the pack, and as soon as the Alpines were fast on their hard tires, and as soon as Alonso went onto those hards, he was untouchable. I can remember at a stage, Martin Brundle, one of the commentators, said he was matching the front three. He was matching Verstappen, Alonso, idiot. He was matching Verstappen, Hamilton, and Bottas in an Alpine.
Yeah, he matched the pace in some laps where I think Perez still had to pit. Alonso were quicker than them.
Yeah, Alonso was quicker than Perez. So because I can remember they also said there's a small chance if the pit stop goes wrong that Perez can come out behind Alonso. But luckily, Red Bull being Red Bull, they never mess up a bloody pit stop. Once again,
they are pit stops.
Once again, Red Bull doing a less than 2-second pit stop.
Yeah, it's just...
I don't know how they do that. But in any case, guys, so 10 out of 10 for Ocon, 10 out of 10 for Alonso, 20 out of 20 for Alpine as a team. Heading towards Scuderia Ferrari, my pride and joy when it comes to Formula 1. Sainz drove spectacularly with his first stint, battling nicely with Ocon and with his teammate Leclerc, keeping Leclerc behind him, and Perez, and keeping Leclerc, actually his teammate behind him for, I don't think they did much. Second stint start, Sainz a 6 out of 10. Now Leclerc had a good weekend. He really had a solid weekend, finishing in P6 behind Norris. Good weekend from Leclerc. Heading towards the two McLaren boys, guys, Ricciardo starting P16, ending P9. We think that's a solid, deserved 9 out of 10.
Yeah, the qualifying, even itself.
Oh no, sorry, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
8.
Sorry, solid 8 out of 10.
And I believed you, and I'm looking at the stuff.
We gave Norris a 9 out of 10, that's why.
If Ricciardo himself said he didn't know where the pace was in qualifying, but clearly all his pace went from qualifying to the race.
Yes, and Ricciardo pulled off some beautiful moves. I mean, especially once again going back to that move on Gasly. That was a beautiful move, just like Hamilton did with Bottas, pinching Gasly to the inside of turn 1 and going right around the outside, not exceeding track limits, was a beautiful move by Danny Rick on Gasly. So Danny Rick, we got 8 out of 10, and Norris 9 out of 10 once again. Norris just being consistent. Scenario 8 Lando, P5 behind the two Mercedes and the two Red Bulls. What more do you want?
Yeah, the only reason why he didn't get any higher, I think, just Mercedes steps up a lot.
Yeah, this weekend they stepped up a hell of a lot.
Bottas actually was there, not back
in Timbuktu,
back in wherever he was in Imola. And Perez, he had the same type of pace for me. Well, he was a little bit slower than Imola, but he was there. He didn't make the same mistake as in Imola.
True.
But even in the start, Norris showed if Perez not awake. He can pass him.
Yep, and Perez struggled to overtake Norris.
Yeah, he struggles.
Perez really struggled to overtake McLaren, so well done to Norris. 9 out of 10, once again solid points for McLaren. Heading in towards the Red Bull boys. And guys, for the first time this season, we actually feel that Perez outperformed Verstappen. Yes, like we said, we know Verstappen he basically gave it all he had, and he finished ahead of Bottas. But guys, just quickly wrap your head around this. Pirelli said the medium tires would last 35 to 40 laps if you really drive conservatively. Perez did 54 laps on a set of medium tires, which he qualified on.
Yeah, he was so consistent with that medium tires. Personally, I think if they should have maybe a little bit, but they had to take him that long because they wanted to put him on the soft tires.
Yeah, they saw that Max was struggling on the hard, so they knew with Norris and Leclerc being a threat from behind, if Perez didn't have pace, they wouldn't have gotten the top 4. So they had to push him onto the softs, and taking the mediums is so damn long.
And I bet you I bet you Mercedes could not done what he did.
Nah, they wouldn't have been able to. But also
Hamilton would have cried because
Mr. Complain about tires. But also for that is, the other reason Mercedes wouldn't have been able to do that is they were fighting with each other as well as with Verstappen for what, almost 30 laps? And those three drove the hell out of those cars.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think Mercedes know if they any slight chance they lose any time against Verstappen will take that advantage.
Yep, he will.
They can't give any advantage to Verstappen because Verstappen will grab it with both hands and yank it over the arms and run away.
True that. But guys, we forgot to give you the points of the two Red Bull drivers. So we gave Verstappen an 8 out of 10. Still a very good weekend from Max. But Sergio Perez got a 9 out of 10.
And I think that is well deserved.
Yep, definitely well deserved. And guys, heading in towards the final team of the weekend. And like I said earlier, Boosted feels that Bottas did better than Hamilton. So according to the points we gave, I'm quickly going to tell you guys. I gave Bottas a 9 out of 10. Turbo gave him a 10 out of 10. If you work it out, it's a 9.5. We don't give half points, so Bottas gets a 10 out of 10. Now, going towards Lewis Hamilton, I felt Hamilton was the driver of the weekend. I gave him the only driver this weekend to get an 11 out of 10. And then Boosted slapped me in the face with an 8 out of 10. And if you work that out, it ends up being a 9 out of 10. So Valtteri Bottas got 10 out of 10, and Lewis Hamilton got 9 out of 10 for this weekend.
Yeah, I understand Hamilton drove really good, but for me it's like you expect him to drive really good. It's just he done what he needed to do, but for me, Bottas showed what he still can do. I just wish he did that every weekend.
Yes,
not once in 5 years.
Okay, guys, I understand where Boosted is coming from. The step up that Valtteri made from Bahrain and Imola to Portugal was massive, and I think that shows. Let's just hope he can keep it throughout the season and on a few occasions beat Hamilton. Like we said, in Spain he has to beat Hamilton. There's not an if or a but. He has to beat Hamilton. End of story.
Wait.
So guys, that is it. Bottas 10 out of 10 and Hamilton 9 out of 10. Now guys, now we're heading in towards the combined Motorsport Lounge created Constructors Championship. Once again, for those of you guys that are new to the podcast, how this works, we gave each driver a point out of 10. These two drivers' points, just like in real F1, they get thrown together, and that is what counts for the team. So we've got our own little Constructors Championship running for the teams. Now for this one, the standings after the previous round at Imola, the standings after round 2 was Haas in 10th place on 13 points. Williams were 9th with 17 points. Sorry, my tongue is twisting.
7th place.
Combined in 7th place is as were Aston Martin and Alpine on 23 points. Combined in 5th place was Mercedes and AlphaTauri on 26 points. Alfa Romeo were in P4 with 27 points, McLaren P3 with 35 points, Ferrari P2 with 36 points, and Red Bull were in 1st with 37 points. So you guys could see the top 3 were really close together. Now, adding up all the points after round 3, Boosted, give us number 10 to number 6.
In 10th place, I'm so glad that they are now combined anymore. So 10th place with 24 points is Haas. 9th place is Williams with 31 points. 8th place is Aston Martin. Yeah, they fell a place. AlphaTauri, they fell.
How many points did Aston Martin have?
I'm talking too fast. Aston Martin had 34 points. In 7th place is AlphaTauri with 37 points. And 6th place, with just 1 point ahead, is Alfa Romeo with 38.
Yeah, guys, Alfa Romeo were in P4 after 2 weeks ago, and now they've fallen all the way to P6, but it's still very good performance from Alfa Romeo. Now into the top 5. Alpine made a massive jump, earning 20 points with Alonso and Ocon's 10 out of 10. So Alpine have jumped to P5 with 43 points. Mercedes are just ahead of them in P4 with 45 points. Ferrari and McLaren have swapped around for P3 and P2. Ferrari are now in P3 on 50 points. McLaren are in 2nd place with 52 points, and Red Bull are still leading the Motorsport Lounge Constructors Championship on 54 points. Now heading in towards the fun part of the weekend. Guys, remember, we do predictions and then we score points towards one another for getting a prediction right or wrong. Now, the predictions we had for the Portuguese race weekend, unfortunately we didn't get any predictions from Adrian, so we only had the other 4 members. So my 3 predictions were Ferrari, McLaren and AlphaTauri battle for points behind Red Bull and Mercedes, which was true. So I got 5 points for that. My second prediction was Williams get points, which got me a big fat 0. And third, I said Vettel finally gets points. If only I said Vettel makes Q3, then I would have had 5, but I did not do that, so I only scored 5 points. Boosted, what was your predictions for last weekend?
My predictions was Verstappen wins, which was close.
Yeah, it was close.
P2, but I get 0. Science top 5, qualified top 5. Then keep it there. And Franklin in points.
So you get a big fat round 0 for everything. Yes. So you had a Demi type weekend. Now heading in towards poor Mrs. Semi Demi. I don't think she's going to be very happy about this. But Demi said a Ferrari podium, which got her a 0. Remember guys, she is already sitting on 0 points because she didn't get any predictions correct for Imola. So she's sitting on 0. Then she said Tsunoda beats Gasly in the race, which was very wrong, 0. And then she said a Ricciardo versus Hamilton on track battle, which also got a 0. So she is still sitting on 0 points. She is busy doing a Mazepin. And then finally, Boosted, you read Johnny's 3 predictions for this past weekend's Grand Prix.
Johnny also wins with the simple prediction: Verstappen winning, which we held by one position. Hamilton not on the podium, not one, and he said Perez in the top 5, which gave him the 5 points. And that was.
So Johnny got 5 because Perez did get P4, so that is 5 points for Johnny. And now guys, the championship between us 5. Even though some people don't give predictions, we're still going to add them towards the championship. We are only 5 on the group. So Demi is still in 5th place on a big round 0. In 4th place now is Boosted, also getting a 0 for this past weekend's Grand Prix. He's on a total of 5 points. Myself and Adrian are tied for 2nd place on 10 points. And Johnny still leads the way on 15 points. How is the one person that does not know a lot about F1 leading this thing? In any case, they're now heading into our predictions for Spain before ending off this podcast. Now guys, one thing that we just realized, Demi really goes for these high gambling type of predictions, and I need to give it to her. She's got wishful thinking, but I like that about her. I think after Spain I'm also going to do 3 major ones for Monaco. So we all know Monaco is the best race of the season. Never boosted.
What? Best sleeping race. Yes.
Okay, guys, Monaco is not the best race of the season, but nobody can go at me for this. It's the best qualifying of the season.
Yeah, it's the best qualifying because that's the only place where someone makes you.
Guys, Boosted is not a Monaco fan, but I think that's going to be a fun podcast. Actually, guys, the podcast for Spain as well is going to be fun because Johnny will be joining us for that one. Okay, then I said Tsunoda will get a top 10 finish, and then Alonso top 5. It's Alonso and Sainz's home race, guys, and we all know Alonso always goes well around Spain. And I mean, I know Norris is Mr. P5 man McGee, but please, Fernando beat Lando. Nando beat Lando. So guys, that's my 3 predictions. Exciting race, Tsunoda top 10 and Alonso gets a top 5. And then Boosted's prediction, he also is in favor of the 2 Spaniards. Alonso and Sainz both get top 10. Then he said Perez is on the podium. And then Ricciardo gets the top 8 finish. Holy moly, you and Johnny's predictions are very close together. So yeah, guys, so Boosted once again, Alonso and Sainz top 10, Perez podium, and Ricciardo gets a top 8 finish. Now Boosted, you've got the floor for Demi and Johnny's predictions.
With Mrs. Bold predictions, Demi, she said Gio in the points.
Oh, please let that happen. Wishful thinking, wishful thinking.
That is wishful thinking. One I don't really understand, but I will say it. She wants George Russell and Fernando Alonso to battle at one point in the race.
It's very possible. You never know. It's very possible.
It's not impossible, but yeah. And the third prediction is Bottas wins.
Exactly what we said needed to happen.
It needs to happen. So that one I support fully. And with Johnny, he wins with Verstappen wins. I think that's his safe bet.
That's his 3rd one in a row. From next podcast, I'm going to say he's not allowed to say Verstappen wins. He needs to get a new prediction.
And it is his 3rd. Then he said Perez on the podium. I'm also Perez on the podium, so someone copycatted me, even though he doesn't even know I'd said this, but I'm saying he copied me. And he said Ricciardo top 6.
Okay, so let's just quickly figure it. So you both said Perez on the podium, and you both mentioned Ricciardo. The only difference is you said top 8, he said top 6 finish. So basically, if you mix our 3 predictions, Alonso needs to get 5th, Ricciardo 6th. What the hell's gonna happen to Norris? Guys, that is our predictions for the 2021 Spanish Grand Prix. I hope you guys saw Adrian's predictions on screen somewhere, otherwise he didn't give us anything. But in any case, guys, that has been this week's podcast. And literally, you're sad after Portugal is done just to realize we're racing again this weekend.
I'm so glad. It's like I have to wait 4 years for this race. Now it's like, okay, next weekend, let's do it.
Yeah, and guys, the end of the year is going to be like that because I think we've got 3 triple headers in a row. No. 3 triple headers, but not in a row. I think it's a triple header, 2 weeks off, 1 race, 2 weeks off, triple header, 2 weeks off, race, 2 weeks off, triple header. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, that is good. We're going to be so busy at the end of the year with these podcasts. I mean,
we're going to sound like rappers in the end of this year.
Yeah, no. I just quickly wanted to check if Monaco is the next race, but I can't seem to find the picture, guys. In any case, I'll put it up on screen for you guys which race is next. But I do think it's Monaco. I know Canada is no longer on the calendar. By the way, guys, news this week. Canada is no longer on the calendar. It's been replaced with my favorite track of all time, the Turkish Grand Prix. We're heading back towards Istanbul, and I can't wait for that one. And there's a big possibility that we can have Indianapolis this year instead of Circuit of the Americas, because Texas has got high COVID numbers, and I can't remember which state Indianapolis is in Indiana probably. But yeah, I would love if the cars go back to Indianapolis.
Yeah,
so, what's the next race?
Also Monaco, it is Azerbaijan.
Okay, so but I'm just walking. Okay, so guys, after this week in Spain, it is Monaco, and then my favorite track on the current calendar, Baku, and then we're gonna head towards Turkey. My 2 favorite tracks right after one another, I am a genius. Well, the FIA are the geniuses. And again, guys, we're gonna stop talking crap. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I really hope this weekend is exciting in Spain. And what a Portuguese Grand Prix. Any final thoughts on the Portuguese Grand Prix to boost it?
I would say we need more action.
Yeah, we're all gonna wish for more action.
We are addicted to action, but it was a good race. There was let's say a switcheroo with Bottas qualifying on pole position, and he showed up. He showed everyone and himself he's still in the fight. If I dare say it.
Let's hope so. Once again, just like Gio getting points for Demi, wishful thinking, let's hope Bottas gets into this championship fight. Guys, that's been the podcast. Final thoughts from me. I'm excited for Spain. With the middle sector change, not to have with the turn 10 change, I think it's going to be a good race weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll see you guys next week on the podcast again, joined by Johnny, and I think it's going to be a good one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Remember to like, subscribe, and go check out the links in the description down below. Boosted?
Cheerio.
Cheerio, Guys, I'll see y'all next video. Cheers!